CRE 2024 from Milton Keynes. It's the podcast. I'm Chris from Monkey Nut, and I'm delighted to be joined by Chris from ChurchEcoMiser. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm good. Good to see you, Chris.
It's lovely to have you here, and you've got a fascinating gift with you, I can see as well. We're going to get onto that very, very shortly.
Okay.
Why don't you tell us about what it is you do?
Basically, what we do is we specialise in heating churches. I've been heating churches most of my life, actually. I started my original company back in 1973 and sold it in 2021. And that was because we decided to move from just sort of general church heating to specialise in a greener form of heating. And so all our systems are green ecosystems.
Interesting. So we're talking about green systems. Are we talking solar panels?
Yeah, we're talking systems that are 100% efficient. We're talking about solar panels if need be. You don't have to start with solar panels, but we're looking at the Church of England in particular has got a desire to go carbon neutral by 2030, and this is to fit in with what they're doing. We want all our systems now to be carbon neutral.
So are you going into churches and completely replacing heating systems, or are you retrofitting your products into the existing system?
No, we are replacing because many of the systems that you see in churches these days are actually Victorian, and they stem back to a bygone age, if you like, both in terms of heating and in terms of efficiency. Back in the day when efficiency didn't really bother anybody.
No.
But now we're all conscious of how we've got to protect the environment, and to do that we need to be running as efficiently as we can. Our systems are all 100% efficient.
Wow. Tell me, you talked about Victorian.
Yep.
How, I mean, I can't even begin to imagine what that was. Can you explain what a Victorian church and how it would have been powered?
Yeah, I think during the Victorian period, there was something like 4,000 new churches built and another 7,000 consecrated that had been adapted. So it's something like 11,500, 12,000 churches in that period of time. And heating was the key thing then in about 1850, 1860. And what happened then is solid fuel systems went into churches, and a lot of them are still in churches these days. And the thing with the solid fuel system is that you had cast iron pipework, you put a solid fuel boiler in and you can't control it. And what you have is a system that has more water in it than is economical, really, because you couldn't turn the boiler off. You had to have more water in the system than it could eat. And so they're inherently inefficient. And people these days think if they slap a gas boiler on the front of it, it makes it efficient. It doesn't. So some of those systems are less than 30% efficient.
Wow. And I guess we're talking about the water there.
Yeah.
I guess it would have taken a lot more time, effort, and I suppose in this case, energy, because that's what we're talking about, to heat up that water and pump it round all the pipes. So does your product sort of cut down that time?
Yes, yeah. We don't have any water in the system. So we heat directly with electric, whether it's through our electric radiator system or whether it's through our electric infrared system. But both of them are 100% efficient.
Yeah, oh, well, that's really interesting. And I suppose by obviously cutting down that time, churches are saving money.
Absolutely.
Which is the important thing. And obviously it's making it a lot greener too.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people get trapped into the fact that they're thinking, well, electricity is more expensive at base cost than gas is. But there's a lot of things that are disguised in that. A traditional gas-fired system, if it's a Victorian one, can take something like 6 or 7 hours to warm up, whereas our system can warm the church up in less than an hour. Also, the fact that it has no maintenance, or virtually no maintenance, is another big saving to churches. So, and of course, it's zoned a lot easier. So the savings really are they start to stack up considerably.
Yeah, I bet it does, because I can imagine in those old Victorian systems, it was one boiler for the whole church, all the rooms, whereas what you're saying here is your system will, if you wanted to just heat, say, a little office, because that's being used from day to day by administrators or whoever, you could do that. Or if you've got a service on a Sunday, you could heat the whole church, and you could completely zonal the church, I suppose.
Absolutely. And we have intelligent controls as well, so that it automatically preheats. You don't have to worry about compensating for the weather. It looks after all that.
Oh, that's really clever. And if a church was interested in putting a system like this into theirs, I'm not going to ask about cost, because I guess it varies on the size of the building. But if you were to take out an old system and put in a new one, what's the typical turnaround time for something like that?
Well, one of our electric systems, we've got it down now to about 1 week. You know, that if the old system's been taken out, we normally ask that they do that locally, because it's more cost effective to do that. But our men will come in and they will install the full system in a week.
You've brought with you it's a plant. It's a big green plant. Tell us what it is.
It's a tree.
Ah.
They have them down south as well, I believe.
Yes, they do.
No, it's a tree. It's something we decided to do probably about 3 years ago now. Rather than give away chocolate or plastic gimmicks or things like that, we thought it'd be good if to underline our green credentials if we gave away trees at exhibitions. So at the end of this exhibition, we'll have given away over 1,000 trees at the last few exhibitions, and we've had some great feedback. I heard this morning that Rick Wakeman picked one up at the last exhibition. We're talking to him. Has been commenting on how well it is growing. So, and we do get feedback off customers that have had them, you know, to say, oh, and by the way, Chris, that tree's doing really well. So, we're giving away pear trees and apple trees this year.
That's wonderful. And how important is CRE? You talk about being at a few events previously. How important is CRE to you and your customer base?
Very important. It's very. The first exhibition I did with CRE was 1988. And we've done it continuously since then. And I think, as I said to the organisers, it's the first thing I put in my diary every year. I see this as a major thing for us, and it always has been. It gives you a chance to talk to potential customers direct. You can explain things. They can touch them. You know, nothing beats being able to go along and talk to people about something. And the conversations that I've had today, I mean, I've been talking all day long, and it's a great platform to be able to come to.
Wonderful. Chris, well, thank you very much for coming and sharing.
Okay.
If anybody wants to maybe install one of your systems or to just find out a little bit more, is there a website we can point people to?
Yes, there is. ChurchEcoMiser. Just tap that into your search engine and it'll come up.
Lovely. Chris, thanks so much for joining us here on the CRE podcast. Okay. And if you want to find out more about what's happening at CRE, just check out the website. It's creonline.co.uk.